Hey everybody, Mike of Mike Likes here with you again. Today I thought we'd do something a little bit different. I thought I'd talk about a camera that's very near and dear to my heart, and maybe yours as well if you found this video. And without further ado, it's the Fujifilm X100, the OG. This is not the X100V or the F or the T or the S. This is the OG that they announced back in 2010, I think it was, and shipped until about 2013 when they made the S. And this little camera is the one that changed it all for Fujifilm and what they're doing in the modern digital camera world. It is a camera where its simplicity and its limitations is the magic. It's a 35 millimeter equivalent lens, so it's a 23 millimeter lens on APS-C. It's f2, so it's fast and it sees well in the dark. It's got an onboard flash. It's uniquely got an OVF, optical viewfinder, and an EVF, electronic viewfinder, which gives it the flexibility of framing, what you see like you would in a rangefinder style camera, or through electronic, as, kind of like what you see is what you get. You have the flexibility and option of that, which is a pretty unique selling point. I don't know too many cameras that offer that at all, unless they're external. And it was the camera that got everyone excited about, oh wow, there's these film simulations where the JPEG I take is good to go and it comes straight out of the camera the way I want it to. This particular camera belonged to my dad. He passed away some years ago, and it was on his desk when I was cleaning up his stuff, and I'm like, I'm going to take this camera, and no one had any objection. So I've got his camera now for several years, and I shoot it very simply. It's not the fastest camera in the world, as you probably know. It's, 2011, 2012 technology, so it doesn't focus like an A7R5, and it doesn't have a billion film simulations like a Fuji X-T5. It's not that kind of camera, but it is a camera that you can have with you on simple trips when space is at a premium. You can use an X100, an OG, even in this day and age, and get really nice results. And this was the video I wanted to make to show you guys those results. It's really pretty special, the kind of photography you can get done with any X100 series, but even the original, going back some 12, 13 years, no problem. You get great work out of it. So, things that I love about this camera: portability. I throw this thing in a bag for a business trip. It comes with me. I don't even notice the 1 pound that it is. The other thing I like, the limitation. Fixed 35 millimeter lens. You're not playing the game, well, do I want 50 millimeters? Do I want a 135? Do I want telephoto? Do I want a really wide angle? You're going to have to commit to the 35 millimeter frame with this camera. The limitation of it is the elegance of it. It removes decision paralysis just in its limitations there. It even comes down to things like setting your aperture. It sets in one full stop. So you go to f2 to f2.8. You can't necessarily stop it down to f2.5. If you go from 2.8, you're going to 4, and then you're going to 5, 6, and then 8. You don't have to decide, do I need f6 or f6.3? No, the camera has done all that for you. The auto ISO, pretty darn good for a camera of this vintage. Shutter speed, it's got that leaf shutter, syncs really well with the flash. That means you can use the flash and the built-in ND filter to kind of shoot portraits of people in sunlight, which is a very unique feature. For those of you flash photographers, your maximum sync speed is maybe 1/125th, 1/250th of a second. This camera will sync to flash at 1/1000th. That makes it really viable in typical outdoor sunlight to use a flash to kind of put some light on people's faces. And that makes it just a really good camera for people photography. Why isn't it a great camera for people photography? Well, you don't have a Sony A7R5 autofocus system on there. It's a slow autofocus. I usually recommend leaving it dead center and use the old focus and recompose. It's not a bad autofocus, but you do have to be a little bit more planned and timed and measured with your shots. You can't just, shoot from the hip and expect it to get everything. It doesn't shoot 30 FPS. It doesn't, have AI algorithms that recommend a dog or cat or a sport. So you kind of have to, be more planned that way. I shoot it with just the OVF in monochrome with the yellow filter typically. I squash the highlights and the shadows a little bit, and I take the raw too in case I want to add color back, and I use the Astia profile, and it makes very pleasing colors. I can get an X100V like portrait shot if I edit it in Lightroom after the fact with this camera, or I can just go with the beautiful Astia and monochrome prints that it gives me. This was the one that started it all, so by no means is it a camera where it's like, oh, the photos are unusable. They're 12 megapixels. I print them to 8x10 all the time. It probably wouldn't be the camera I take to print at 30 by 40 inches, but yeah, 8x10, social media, 12 megapixels will get you there. Some people like to go for the X100S or the X100T. They're a little bit more money. They also give you 16 megapixels. That's a little bit more usable. You get a little bit more room to crop in there, and you get classic chrome if you go for the X100T, so there's a benefit. Beyond that, you've got the F, it adds acros. You've got the V, it adds a bevy of improvements, a new lens and everything, but I really just like this old X100. This is the black edition, a special edition, so-called. They made 10,000 of them. My dad had one of them, and he got it at the very beginning. I have no idea which number it is because he didn't keep the box. He kept some of the accessories, but didn't keep the box, so I'm not sure which number for those of you wanting to compare. But man, what a fun camera, and I'm just glad I got to show you guys some of the pictures as I, monologued about it for a while, just an ode to a really good camera that I really enjoy shooting. And I hope you guys found the pictures pleasant and pleasing and enjoyed what I had to say about it. If you're here, you know that any of the X100s are a good buy, but I just wanted to chime in and say, yep, I really like the OG as well. So, thank you guys so much for watching my video and, hearing me weigh in on almost obsolete technology, but some that still has a relevant, space in the world right now. So if you could like the video and subscribe to my channel, I always appreciate that. The support means a lot. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye.